y'all, this is I Am MJTV and I'm back with another video. So tonight is the Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 12 Virtual Reunion Part 1. You all know what's going on. We all are in quarantine right now. I'm sure some states are open back up, but everybody's quarantined, so they cannot film a reunion like we would normally see them come back together, so it is going to be virtual. But before we get into this review, if you have not subscribed to this channel, stop what you're doing. Go down, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you hit that notification bell so whenever I do post content, you get notified. But let's get into this reunion, y'all. So let's talk about the looks first. Now, I think everybody pretty much did a really good job of pulling the looks together as far as the white. You know, they went to Greece this year, so their theme was white. Now, there was a little controversy about that. Of course, I don't know if y'all saw what Nene was saying, that she didn't know everybody was wearing white, and she showed up with black and had to change it at the last minute. I don't know what that's about. I know they normally talk about a theme, so that was a little bit weird that, you know, she had to change in the middle of it. Don't know what, you know, happened with that. But needless to say, everyone pretty much looked great. Now, the only thing I didn't like was Cynthia's wig. She did look like that Whitney Houston cover now. I don't know if y'all saw that on social media, but she definitely looked like that cover. But other than that, to me, everybody looked gorgeous. They got on their all white. You know, they pretty much had to style themselves or pick from their closet. I don't know, unless you just got some really designer connections where you can do a pull in a, you know, closed store. But other than that, they all look good. Now, of course, we know this reunion is definitely being filmed virtually. They're all in their homes. It was only filmed maybe 2 weeks ago that they filmed it. But, you know, in all honesty, it's the part one from what I saw, it turned out pretty good for them to be, you know, quarantined. And this is the first time we see a virtual reunion. But it turned out pretty good. Like, the shade, we're going to see that regardless. Honestly, I think it gave some people a little bit more push or nerve to kind of say what they want to say, or, you know, kind of have the extra little oomph, because when you're in front of a computer, you can throw your reads, things you might not say in front of a person. You can definitely have the courage to say it then. But needless to say, you know, they start asking everybody questions, just about, they recap the season, give us a little bit, you know, what happened throughout the whole season. Now, honestly, I thought this season was gonna be a little bit better than it was. Other than the Nene and Kenya drama, that situation, it really wasn't much to talk about other than Snakegate, which we definitely gonna see how that ends and plays out throughout the reunion. But it wasn't the season that I thought it could be. Now, after they kind of recap, they kind of hop right into Kenya and Marc's marriage. Now, we all watched this season. This was Kenya's season back because she missed out last season after having a baby and marrying Marc. So we kind of get to see their relationship play out this season. And, you know, if you watch, it definitely, it wasn't a good look as far as their marriage. It was cringe-worthy at best to say, you know. We saw those moments. So Andy, of course, asked her about, you know, how are you guys doing? So she said they are in counseling, and Marc has done a 180, you know, he's trying to work on their marriage. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe him seeing how horrible of a person that he appeared to be on camera, and it was almost like watching him this season felt like you were watching somebody be in a relationship with somebody that they didn't want to be in a relationship with. That's what it got to me. Like, he was just not into it. But, you know, she said they're in counseling, they're trying to work on it. So Andy asked her, you know, about the situation she spoke on as far as him talking to other women and getting some type of text messages from women while they were, you know, in their marriage. Now, of course, she tries to clean it up and not make it seem like he was cheating, which I'm pretty sure he was cheating. She makes it seem like, you know, the women were texting him for sexual exchanges, that like they wanted to continue to have sex with Marc. And she felt like he wasn't answering them the way that a married man should answer them. Now, if y'all married, he shouldn't have been entertaining that kind of stuff at all, to me. I would think that you wouldn't even be having those kind of conversations with anybody. Or, I mean, if y'all been in a relationship for a certain amount of time and y'all go and get married, those kind of exes and things like that shouldn't still be coming up at that point of y'all getting married. But of course, we know Kenya and Marc, they didn't know each other very long before getting married, so they hadn't went through that process of exes reaching out and things like that. The exes probably were just like us, just as clueless, didn't know he would probably get married. But now Andy asked her, you know, how do you feel about, you know, people saying that it's karma and you speaking about other people's relationship? Now you're getting that same energy pretty much. So they asked her about that. And of course she feels like she hasn't talked about people's relationships, and you know, she doing what Kenya do. She gonna divert. She ain't talking about nobody's relationship. But of course, we all have watched Kenya older seasons comment on Porsha relationship to Cardell, Phaedra, Kim Zosia, like all these people she's talked about their relationships. So to me, I don't feel like it's off limits when you in a situation. You gotta expect that same energy that you put out. Now, of course, yes, these women are grown, but come on, y'all, this the Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you gotta be honest, you gotta put your stuff out there and expect people to be able to comment on it when it's your turn. Like, honestly. And I feel like her and Porsha kind of had a little moment during that situation. Now, I kind of knew that Porsha was gonna be, it was gonna be divided, and you definitely see the clear division. It's Nene and Porsha versus pretty much everybody else that's holding a peach. Like, honestly, it's a clear divide, and we already knew that going in that it was gonna be like that. Her and Nene cool, and she don't really have a Porsha. She ain't really friends with them other girls like that. Like, come on now, let's just be real. But you can definitely tell that her and Nene is them versus everybody else at this point. Now, Eva and Nene had a few, you know, a little exchange. We all saw that exchange on social media. Now, I don't know what would make Eva think that she can get in the ring with Nene and read. Because honestly, I had never seen Eva have a reading moment on this show. She throw her little digs, but to me, she don't, like, it don't stick. Her reads, you just be like, okay. Like, honestly, I think she came into the reunion knowing, okay, I gotta kind of fight for my peach. I gotta speak up. I gotta say something. But it kind of, to me, if you watch this first episode, it kind of bit her in the butt this first episode, because you can't, if you're gonna go toe to toe with them, you gotta go toe to toe with them. You gotta be kind of like Kenya, or you gotta be ready to go. And tonight she definitely was not ready to go. Nene and Porsha was lighting into her. And my problem with Eva is the fact that she can never stand on what she says. She either forgets it, can't remember it, or she says she never said that, whatever she said. Now, we saw her and Porsha exchange. We saw her sit and talk when she was pregnant with, she was talking with Kandi and Cynthia, and she was, you know, saying that Pilar looks just like Dennis with a bow on. Now, in that moment, of course, she do favors her dad, like any child could favor their father. But the way in which she was saying that, to me, it seems as though she was trying to call Pilar ugly or use that as a dig. Now, if you're gonna do that, you gotta stand in that when it comes time to the reunion, or you get pressed about it, you gotta stand on it and say, I said it, okay, like, let's address it. But to me, Eva never stands in nothing that she says. And I think that's my problem with her as far as holding a peach. If you're gonna hold a peach, you need to be able to hold your own, stand in what you said, and go from there. Like, she never does that. And somebody that, yeah, you never take accountability for nothing that you say. And they even asked her about, you know, in the past, she has made some colorist remarks or statements. And to me, even I see moments where she's talking about the women's hair and edges and things like that. And I'm just looking like, okay, you always making these kind of comments. How do you think that looks coming from, like Kenya said, coming from a fair-skinned woman, and you talking about these women, and all you could do is talk about nappy head this and edges that. Like, it don't look good for you. But Porsha definitely, she handled her tonight. Like, and it's almost like she was shutting Eva up. Like, I said be quiet, don't say nothing else. And Eva was just, like, she told her that it looked like her breast was social distancing. Now, I guess the space in between her breasts is really wide, so I guess that's why she said that. But even then, like to me, she's sitting on the fact that, okay, she's a gorgeous girl, she's pretty. Okay, but you don't have, it's no substance behind that pretty to me. Like, that's just my opinion. Like I said, I feel like her peach can go to somebody else next season. Like, honestly, I don't feel like she brings anything to this show. She could be a friend of the show, but I don't think she needs to hold the peach. That's just my opinion now. Now, Andy asked Kenya about, her marriage license. Since, they talking about receipts. So that was one of her receipts, was bringing her marriage license. Now, I really couldn't, it was a date at the bottom of that marriage license, but I couldn't. I'm going to try to see if I can get a screenshot of it so we can look at that date, because I thought it said August 2019. And I'm like, no, Kenya got married at 18, right? That shouldn't, it wasn't 19, but we'll look into that. But she pulls out her receipt showing that her and Marc are married. Now, I don't doubt that they're married or not, but it definitely doesn't change the fact that they got married too quick and they didn't know each other. He disrespectful to her and he made her look like a fool this season. None of that changes to me. I'm glad she did bring out her marriage certificate, but it don't change the fact that her husband was a jackass this season. Now, a lot of the questioning, I will say, it was a lot of questioning Nene about different things in the first half of the show. Now, they did ask her about the Wendy Williams situation. Now, we all kind of saw how that played out on social media with her, calling Wendy while she was on live. And to me, Wendy kind of blew the situation out more than it was. Like, now, do I think their friendship is the most genuine friendship? No, honestly, I don't think that. But I do think that, Wendy get on her platform and do what she does. Like, I think it benefit her to have some of that inside mess of what's going on with them. And I feel like Nene benefit from it too, because one, of course, she being talked about. Like, and what they say, no publicity is bad publicity. Of course, when you want to be a part of an ensemble cast like this, you want your name out there. So I do think her and Wendy both benefited from that relationship. Now, you could definitely tell she really didn't want to speak much about the situation. Now, she did say that they kind of agreed that if they had any, other differences or anything like that, that they wouldn't go to social media about it. Now, I don't know if Wendy got that memo or what, but she definitely did hold up her end of the bargain with that. Now, that's just blatant. She talked about it clearly on her show. So she really didn't keep that up. Now, you could definitely tell Nene was getting a little bit, annoyed about them asking about it. Now, at one point, she closes her laptop down in the midst of her, I'm thinking maybe it was her and Eva going back and forth. Like I said, she lit Eva up. Eva got out there and tried to read, and it wasn't sticking. Like she said, top model was the last time that she been on top. And another thing, Eva always tries to throw up age as a read. Like, to me, that's lame. Like, it's like when on Married to Medicine, when Heavenly said, yo mama. Like, age, that's another thing. Like, if you don't have nothing to say, you instantly jump to insulting somebody by talking about their age. Like, girl, like Porsha said, we all got houses at this point. Eva just bought a house. I know exactly what her house at. It's a nice, nice neighborhood or whatever. But, like, get off of that. Okay, you got a house now. Great. Like, good. Like she said, we all got houses. Let me talk about Kandi. Now, I know Kandi be some people's faves or whatever, but my problem with Kandi is, like, if somebody your friend, you can never hold them accountable. Like, this whole season, nothing that Kenya does, she calls out. And you could definitely tell, of course we saw before the reunion, her and Nene was kind of going back and forth. Both of them full-time YouTubers at this point. So they both on their platforms, sending little digs at each other and addressing different stuff. So I knew at that point, okay, they gonna go at it at the reunion. Now, granted, Nene do some stuff that we all be like side-eye looking at, like, okay, was that called for? But my thing with Kandi is she will never tell Kenya when she wrong. Just like when they were at her baby shower and she walked behind that lady, like, everybody know, come on. You been aggressive. If me and you beefing and you walking behind me like that, come on, that's aggressive. Stop. Now, I don't know where this kind of started from. Yes, I do. So, and can't remember what episode it was, but Nene was on the phone talking to Wendy, and Kenya was the topic of conversation, and she said something to the effect of Kenya not using her eggs, to, I guess, conceive Brooklyn or however it works. I don't even think about that. I had never heard that, but I guess there was some rumbling somewhere about Kenya not using her eggs. No, I don't know if she used her eggs or not. That ain't my business. All I know is she got a beautiful baby, and that's all I know about that situation. But like I said, I definitely Nene have moments that she say things that's inappropriate, just like the rest of them. So my thing about them, they'll get on something and they'll want to ride it to the end as if all of them had said things about each other that's like kind of disgusting or inappropriate or, problematic. That's what this show about. You saying problematic stuff and we addressing it. Now, Cynthia was another one, of course. Let me see what they asked her about. They asked her about her being Cynthia and versus 50 Cent. Yeah, Cynthia have her moments where, she decides to stand up for herself rather, and address certain things. Cynthia is just like everybody else. Now she is another one to me that I think is in danger. Like, I don't feel like it's time to. I'll say this: it's time to definitely shake the cast up. Like, at least two people could either be friends or just gone completely. And Cynthia one of them. I just feel like she really don't like. She don't. What was she offering us? Seeing her and Mike get married, I guess. But I mean, we saw her and Peter get married. I don't think we need another Cynthia wedding, but that's just me. I feel like we could do without Cynthia at this point. I'm trying to think about what else did they, question her on. Now, Porsha did bring up a receipt that she had, a text message where Kenya was texting her pretty much dogging Cynthia. Now, do we know this is true or not? Because Porsha didn't show the text messages. Andy told her to send the screenshots to her. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't not believe it, because I can see Kenya dogging Cynthia out. We've witnessed her on the show dog Cynthia out and like cover it up like, oh girl, act like it's just nothing. So I can believe her texting somebody dogging Cynthia out. Like, come on. But Cynthia, she team Kenya at this point. Kenya's her best friend. Kenya is not gonna say anything bad about her, even if it makes her look stupid. She's not gonna. Kenya not gonna do that to her. So she gonna believe what she wants to about Kenya. But other than that, Cynthia really didn't offer nothing tonight. Literally nothing. She had a nice gown on. Nice gown. Kandi, she had her moment where she wanted to chime in and support Kenya, because pretty much that's all she do. At this point, it's support Kenya, and whatever Kenya says, she gonna back that 100%. Honestly, she don't have no storyline. She don't at this point. All we see Kandi do is what? Carry a bone here and there. She ain't at home raising. She ain't out with her kids. Poor little Ace. Ace don't even know his mama because she working so hard. And I can't blame her for that. That's how she got a multi-billionaire. That's how she make her money. But we don't really get to see a whole lot of that. But that's just my 2 cents. Now Kenya claps back at Porsha about this receipt, saying that she got a receipt. Now allegedly it's from 3 years ago where she's saying, oh, I don't want Nene this and Nene that. Just pretty much badmouthing Nene when they were going through whatever they were going through. Now, that's 3 years ago. Of course they were beefing and going at it. I'm thinking she got something from this season, because at this point that's all that's relevant. What happened right now? Who said what? Any of that. Now, you know what I didn't like? That they didn't really give Tanya and Marla a lot of time tonight. Of course, I guess we may see them, in the next 2 episodes. But they had some really explosive moments. I definitely hope they get a little further into that cookie situation, because I think they need to talk about that, because that was messy for her to literally throw that in there. I think they might have asked about it a little bit, how she would feel if Tanya brought that lady who Marc was texting, put her on the show and kind of blew it up. You know, she wasn't like that. She was being messy, trying to not mess up them people's relationship. And that's why she brought that cookie lady on. Now, Eva did get a little, Tanya kind of threw a little shade at her, like Eva was definitely, you know, laughing and eating the cookie lady cookies while she trying to sit up there and act like, oh, you know, I ain't say anything. She just, I'm sorry, y'all, I was on Eva tonight because I feel like she she was just scratching, trying to get a dig in or get a read in just so she could have something to say. It's like, girl, sit down. Porsha and Nene was handling her. At one point, it was literally that Porsha was the teacher, like, sit down, quiet now. And she shut that mouth. But overall, it was definitely a good first episode to the reunion. You know, it's different than filming it virtually, but I definitely think it worked. Now, of course, we're going to see some other explosive moments in the next 2 episodes. I can't wait to see this Yvonne situation play out. We'll talk about that, you know, once they air. But like I said, I definitely think it was a good episode. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts on this first episode of the reunion. I don't know, like I said, Eva got on my nerves tonight. She got on my nerves. Like, she could go. That's just me. But y'all let me know what y'all think. If you have not subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so when I post content, you get notified. But I will see y'all next week on part 2 of the reunion.